Hey everybody, Larry from Just Reddit coming at you with another Ask Reddit video. What's a really awkward situation that everyone can relate with? Saying hello or how are you to somebody and getting 100% ignored. Worse when someone else you know is there too and notices you getting ignored. That's when I just say good talk. Helps me feel like I save face just a bit. When you start to tell a story in a group but in middle of sentence realize that no one is actually listening and ever so slowly you get quiet and hope no one took notice. Edit. Wow. Seems someone did take notice this time. I asked myself a few times what might be wrong with me BC of this, but I also could imagine I'm not the only one this is happening. But I don't think that something is wrong with you. It's just all too often that people just don't think so much. I think people in general mean no harm. They maybe were in this moment just not as emphatic or don't have the antenna in the everyday hustle and bustle to notice something that doesn't jump in the face with a neon sign, figuratively speaking, or, as for this case, notice someone's contribution that is not bursting with self-confidence or provides the perfect introduction, but perhaps acts rather a bit introverted. Whenever I notice that happening, I specifically look the person telling the story in the eyes like it's fine, just pretend you were only telling the story to me all along. I try to be that person too, but it backfires because I'm not the person that they wanted to listen to them, so they just stop telling the story anyway. Feels bad. When you've had multiple interactions with someone but you can't remember their name, but it's gone too far to admit you've forgotten it, so you just have to call them love or mate forever. I have a trick for this. Start being more loving to them, eventually getting into relationship. As this moves further, propose and they'll say yes, and then when you're getting married, wait till the pastor turns and says, "And will you person's name marry your name?" And boom, you now know their name. Standing there while two people talk about something you don't know about. When you try to contribute to a conversation and someone cuts you off multiple times, and you patiently wait for your turn to speak, even though it already was, but by the time the air is clear, the subject has already changed and what you were going to say is now irrelevant. I used to be a habitual cutter-offer when I was younger. I wasn't trying to be rude, I was just excited for what I had to say. I've reformed that behavior now, but if I notice this happening to someone else, I'll make sure to call attention to the person trying to talk. "What was that, John?" or something along those lines to make sure everyone is heard. When you're having a conversation with someone and you don't hear what they say, so you ask them to repeat and they do. But you still don't hear it and ask them to repeat again and they do. And you still don't know what they said. Do you ask them to repeat again, and maybe still not hear it? Pretend you heard it and nod your head and hope it's an appropriate response. Stab yourself in the eye with a pen to create a diversion and change the subject. When you're walking past coworker and you've already said hello earlier, everyone's making that weird flat smile. When you're finishing up at the checkout and the cashier puts the notes on top of the receipt and then coins on top of that, then the next person steps up and you're fumbling, trying to disassemble the stack in your hand, gather your shopping, say thanks, and move away at the same time. That awkward moment where you and somebody else try to let each other speak but you both try speak at the same time and just keep failing. Being at a friend's house as a kid and the friend's mother starts yelling at your friend. Being at a friend's house as a kid and the friend's father walks in only wearing underwear. When you think someone waves at you so you wave back, but they were waving at someone behind you. You ever clogged a toilet in somewhere that wasn't your house? Thank guys. My inbox is now clogged with all of your oversized shit stories. Can't wait to binge read all of it. Edit 2. Guys, please stop sending stories. I don't think my inbox could survive more of this. It's on intense medication RN. Edit 3. Inbox funeral later at 3 p.m. Y'all are invited. When you walk out of the store empty-handed, feeling like you've just stole something. Walking through a doorway only to catch your clothes on the handle and have it slingshot you backwards. When you reply to a stranger who says hello, but then realize they were on the phone and not speaking to you. Happened to me just yesterday and I didn't get any sleep last night as I couldn't stop reliving the moment.